Now for the 15 marker, it says a running club has 200 members who compete in a 1 kilometer running competition every month. Right, members' names are stored in the one-dimensional 1D array member name, each member's time in seconds. For the 1 kilometer run will be stored in another one-dimensional 1D array called member time. The position of each member's data in the two arrays is the same. For example, the member stored at index 10 in member name and at index 10 in member time is the same. Right, the running club awards a small prize to the members who have the top 3 times. Right, the club also awards certificates to all members with a time under 240 seconds. Right, we want to write a program that meets the following requirements. Okay, so right, we're going to allow members' times to be input twice and verifies that the inputs match. So I guess that's just a double entry check. Right, then we're going to sort the array's member time and member's name in ascending order of time. So what that's going to be, what the I guess, all right, okay, let's say the fastest time first, right, the slowest time last. So yeah, of course, I'm just the winner first, basically. Right, then it's going to output the member names and times of the members with the top 3 times and identifies them as well, first, second, third. Then it's going to store the names of all the members who will receive a certificate in the array member certificate. And it's going to output a message stating the number of certificates to be printed. Right, so you must use pseudocode or program code and add comments to explain how your code works. Right, you do not need to initialize the data in the array member name and you do not need to declare any arrays or variables. You may assume this has already been done. Right, all inputs and outputs must contain suitable messages. Right, so as always, well, with these 50 marks, of course, you can go to the website, go to, exam questions, right, go to pseudocode. Of course, find this question, right, find the starter code here. Right, if you want, of course, just go open solution. I think for me, let's go open in code editor. Right, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy the instructions here, and let's just comment those out. And some people ask, right, how do I comment like that? So if you press, let's just write this. So if you press, control, right, then also, control and the, forward slash, right, and of course, that's going to let you, right, comment, right, and also, uncomment, right, just to, right, toggle between them. Alright, so I think, let's just zoom out because there's quite a lot on here. Right, so first thing we want to allow the members' times to be input twice and verifies that the inputs match. Now here I've just created this constant, right, number of runners. And to be honest, like if it doesn't tell you the size of the array, then you can just kind of assume they've created some constant. Of course, just give it a sensible name, right, and of course use that as being the size of the array. Right, so here then, let's just loop through because of course, alright, so we want to loop through for each runner, right, allowing them to input, their times. So let's say 4 and, right, let's go index or, I know, okay, if you want to be more descriptive, right, let's say runner index. Right, that's going to be 1, and let's go to the number of runners. Right, then if we want to input twice, I think what we can do, maybe let's have a repeat until loop. And we're just going to say repeat until, time 1 equals time 2. And I suppose we can also have an error message, right, if they don't. So, obviously, right, okay, like, while in the exam it says you don't have to declare, for it to work on the site, of course, we are, obviously, right, we will have to declare. So let's go, time 1, let's go time 2, right, they're both going to be integers. Right, so what we can do, right, let's go repeat as mentioned then, so let's go output, right, let's say, let's say, enter time 1, right, 4, and then, right here, I'm just going to output the name as well. So the name is going to be the member name, and then the index, that's going to be the runner index. And I think I'm just going to have the the colon as well. Although of course you don't need that, right, just for formatting. Right, then input. We're going to input that into time 1. Now I'm just going to copy this because it's just going to be the same thing. Right, let's go time 2. Right, okay, and that's fine. Then I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have. I'm going to have an if statement, right, just to give them a warning, right, if they're incorrect. So, right, let's go, right, if time 1 is not equal to time 2, right, let's go output. Let's go, right, times, right, didn't match. That should be fine. Right, let's go end if. And here then, let's go until, and this is going to be until time, until time 1 is equal to time 2. That should be fine. Now, if you want, of course, you can just test this. So although to be honest, right, I think I'm not going to test it because alright, that should be fine. As long as I've not made a silly mistake. Right, so once we've done that, we're going to sort the arrays, member time and member name. Okay, like is there anything else we can do in the loop? So I guess if we think about this, right, if we think the members with the top 3 times, well, of course, once we've sorted, the array, well, then we can basically just go, well, obviously, yeah, output, and then, well, the index 1, index 2, index 3, right, yeah, with the corresponding, I guess with the corresponding, well, first, second, third, right, message. Right, then store the name of the members who will receive a certificate in the array member certificate. So I think let's do this, and what do they say? It has to be less than 240? Yeah, right, okay, less than 240, so of course, right, 240 is, what, too high, right, therefore it's going to be exclusive. So I think like this one we can actually do here inside the loop. And to be honest, right, what I'm going to do, let's actually create another index, because like we actually won't know what index to insert this person in this right into this member certificate. Now, well, of course, I mean, right, well, the first person we can insert index 1, right, but then, well, of course, right, the second person, well, we then need to know, well, of course, well, then we're going to insert that person, right, at index 2 in this member certificates. So let's, yeah, I don't know, like maybe that made sense, maybe it didn't, but I think right, when I code it, hopefully it should make sense. Let's go maybe, I don't know, like certificate index. Yeah, that should be okay. So what we can do, we can say, what if, and again, or obviously here we can say, well, time 1 or time 2, right, since they're both going to be the same. So let's get if time 1, right, if that's less than 240. Right, and probably actually let's just initialize this certificate index. Right, I think I'm actually just going to initialize it to 0, because we can also use, yeah, okay, so we also want to output a message stating the number of certificates to be printed. Now, if we initialize it to 1, right, then if we do something like this, so if we go, well, certificate index, alright, certificate index plus 1. Now, I suppose also let's just assign to this, so we go, right, member certificates, alright, that's going to be at certificate index, and what that's just going to be the member name, so the member name, right, well, that's, yeah, this member name variable, or, yeah, this member name array, right, then, of course, well, yeah, at this runner index. So, of course, right, okay, this here is the current runner, right, then we're just, well, right, yeah, then we're just, inserting this current runner right into the member certificate array. Now, like, I mean, this is okay, right, then if we just go end if. But the problem with this, right, of course, if we start this at 1, well, now it's just going to think that we've got 2 people in the, yeah, alright, okay, so, I mean, is right, because, like, right, okay, so what I'm saying is that, right, if we just go, like, output, right, certificate index, like, as being, the count of how many people, sort of got certificates, well, of course, then it's going to say 2. Now, I guess we could do, right, certificate index minus 1, yeah, alright, although, we can also, right, if we just start this at 0, right, then if we actually copy this before, and again, alright, okay, let's say the reason we need to copy it before is because, well, if we have this, well, it's going to try to insert, well, obviously, well, certificate index is 0, right, therefore it's going to say, well, 0 doesn't exist in the array, right, so it's a kind of invalid index, right, whereas what we can do, well, right, if we increment this before, so, right, now, of course, it's going to go to 1, right, then it's also going to be 1 here, right, so it's going to insert in the correct position, right, then we don't need the minus 1 when we output. So I think that's going to be fine, and to be honest, right, I mean, let's just do that now. Let's see, right, yeah, number of certificates. Yeah, I think I've spelled that completely wrong, but okay. Yeah, that should be fine for that one, right, and I guess now we just need to sort them. Yeah, alright, so I think, right, well, of course, right here we just need bubble sort then. Right, so let's try bubble sort, and if you think, well, bubble sort has 2 optimizations, right, one is going to be, well, we only want to continue sorting while it's not sorted. So I'm just going to make a variable, let's call it is sorted, and right, okay, and right, that's going to be a boolean. I suppose what we can go, well, is sorted, right, let's just assign that false. Right, then there's also going to be another optimization, and that's that, well, after the, right, okay, right, yeah, let's say after each pass, well, the rightmost element is going to be sorted. So let's say, right, okay, after the first pass, well, I guess, yeah, the rightmost element is sorted. Right, after the second pass, well, then the 2 rightmost elements are sorted. Right, after, well, the third pass, right, the third loop, alright, then what, the 3 rightmost elements are sorted. So what we can do, I'm just going to call that end index, and basically, well, the end index is going to start as being 1 less than the array length. And the reason it starts as 1 less than the array length, hang on, well, right, yeah, let's just do this here. Right, end index, right, that's going to be, well, the array length, right, number of runners minus 1. Okay, the reason it starts as 1 less than the array length is because, well, let's say we've got 5 runners. Now, of course, what, right, okay, like, obviously we can compare runner 4 with runner 5, but we can't compare runner 5 with runner 6, right, yeah, since there is no runner 6. right, that's why again, right, well, the end index, right, we're only going to go up to 4, right, just because, well, all right, what we're going to do, we're going to compare with, well, sort of 4, right, which, well, let's say, right, n, the index, yeah, and then, well, with, you know, the index plus 1. So I think that should be fine. Then, right, let's just start the loop. So let's go, what, while is sorted equals false, right, this is why, yeah, when we're going to continue looping, right, I'm just going to end while. Then inside here, what we can do, right, okay, so let's assume that it is sorted. So if we just assume it is sorted by setting it to true, well, then we're going to loop through element by element. And if it's not sorted, well, then we're just going to set that to false. So to loop through element by element, well, let's just go index again. And right, this is going to be 1. Right, then we're going to the end index. Right, in order to check if they're sorted, we want to go, right, okay, they said what is member time. Now, let's think then. So we want this to be the smallest is going to be at the beginning. Right, therefore, what we're going to check, right, okay, if the leftmost element is bigger than the right element, well, therefore, we have to switch them. So let's go here, right, okay, well, member time, we're at this index. If this is bigger, right, than, yeah, member time at, well, index plus 1. Right, of course, well, here they're in the wrong order. Well, then we want to swap them. Now, in order to swap them, what we're going to need 2 temporary variables in this case. So let's go, I don't know, yeah, temp time, right, temp time, well, that's going to be an integer. Right, then, well, temp name, right, that's going to be a string. Now, the way we can swap them, like, right, okay, like if we think, now we can't just do, I don't know, okay, yeah, we can't do sort of, right, this one and, you know, swap it with this one. Because, well, if we do that, and to be honest, let's just try and draw that. So, right, let's say, I don't know, okay, right, let's say this is our array. We've got, I don't know, 240, let's say 250, all right, yeah, obviously, right, etc. And, well, okay, hang on, right, okay, let's say 220, right, just so they're in the wrong order. Now, we can, for example, just think, okay, well, put this one in this position. Because, well, right now, if we do that, right, they're both going to become 240. So when we then swap this back, well, of course, I mean, this one is also going to be 240, right? Since, of course, well, I mean, yeah, we're just overwriting it with this. Right, therefore, if we don't have the temporary variable, they're going to be the same. So what we can do, right, I'm just going to call it t, right, temporary variable. Let's call this one 240. Yeah, this can be, I don't know, right, let's say, well, yeah, 220. And to be honest, well, of course, right, I mean, there's 2 ways you can do it. So one, right, either we can move this one into the temporary variable, right, then we move this one here, right, then of course, what, yeah, okay, right, okay, then we move the temporary variable like this, right, of course, well, that's one way you can do it, right, alternatively, what I guess, well, yeah, let's use a different colour, right, of course, well, alternatively, what, of course, right, you could move this one into the temporary variable, right, then you would want to, yeah, I'm getting confused here, right, too many arrows, right, of course, yeah, okay, right, then you would move this one here, right, then you would want to move this one here. So again, you know, whatever way you do doesn't really matter. Yeah, just as long as you make sure not to overwrite them by mistake. Right, so let's see if I can do that then without making the mistake. So, right, let's go temp time. Right, and then that's going to be, right, the, yeah, I've already made a couple of typos. Right, so let's go member time index. Right, then we said we're going to move the index plus 1 into this index. So, right, okay, yeah, let's go member time, right, that's index. And we're then going to go member time, right, this is what index plus 1. Right, then what we want to do, well, we want to move the time, yeah, into, right, okay, well, into the index plus 1. Right, so yeah, let's do that, right, member time, right, that's, yeah, index plus 1. And, right, that's going to be the temp time. And then, to be honest, right, I'm just going to copy that because, well, I mean, for the temp name, it's just going to be the same. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a quick find and replace. So let's find time, and right, what we can do, I mean, right, like, right, I guess, like, if you're familiar with, you know, well, VS Code, right, it's just going to be the same, since it's using code editor, right. Well, we can click this one, right. This is only going to find in the selected text, and what we just want to replace time and replace it with name, right. Then I'm just going to go replace all like that. Yeah, so that should be okay, I think. Right, and let's make sure just to update these variables correctly. So here then, what is sorted? Right, that's now going to become false. Yeah, since of course, well, they were in the wrong order. Right, okay, yeah, that should be end if. Right, let's go, right, next index. And then here, okay, since this is the first iteration passed, then what we want to do, well, all right, so we just want to decrement the end index, right? So yeah, end index, right, -1 like that. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Now, I mean, right, if you want to just output all of these, no, okay, now, right, I'm just going to output all of them just to test it. Although, of course, right, in the exam, you don't need to do this. Yeah, this is just for testing. Right, so let's go index 1, right, 2, well, that's the number of runners. Right, let's go next index. And just to output them, right, let's go, well, member name, right, that's going to be the yeah, okay, right, well, index. And right, let's go colon like this, and then let's have the time. So remember time and index like that. Yeah, I guess, well, all right, so now let's see if this actually works. Right, so enter time 1 for, well, Usain Bolt. Right, let's go, I don't know, maybe 200. All right, okay, let's try something that's different. Right, so 210. Yeah, okay, right, now it says, well, times didn't match, right, if we see here. So let's just try that again, right, 200. Yeah, let's go 200. Yeah, that's fine. All right, well, now Sonic, let's go, right, 50. Yeah, 50 again. All right, Flash, I don't know, maybe 30. Forrest, yeah, Forrest Gump, I mean, I guess he's pretty fast, right, maybe 20. And Sloth, all right, okay, so let's have one that won't get a certificate. So what, I mean, he's going to be like 5,000. Okay, and that has not updated, so yeah, I guess that's a really stupid mistake. Okay, so I realised I've made a really stupid mistake here. Well, obviously, right, we've done this validation, but I forgot to actually assign this to the variable. So, right, let's go member time. Right, that's going to be the runner index, and yeah, that's, okay, right, that's going to be time 1 like that. So let's try again. All right, let's see if this works. Let's go 200. Let's go, yeah, 50. Right, 30. Right, 30, 20, and let's say 500. Okay, so we see, yeah, Forest 20, Flash 30, yeah, Sonic, right. Okay, so yeah, I think this is working, right, number of certificates 4. Now, if you do actually look, right, if we actually see here, well, we just want to, yeah, okay, right, so we want to output the names of the top 3, right, with, well, first, second, third, yeah, first, second, third, you know, respectively. So let's actually do that, and to be honest, I mean, this is actually easier in some ways than just doing the loop. So yeah, let's go output, and let's say first, and what that's going to be, well, member name, and of course, well, just member name 1. Right then, of course, well, we can go, yeah, second and third. Right, second, yeah, and third. Right, so let's try this, although, you know, I think we've seen this working anyway. Right, so 200, yeah, 50. And yeah, right, so first Forest, second Flash, and third Sonic, right, and certificates 4. Right, guys, so what I will do, I mean, let's just check this, and I suppose one thing we do want to do is just add comments. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got everything. Obviously, in the exam, you know, make sure to read the whole question again, right? Make sure you haven't, you know, missed anything stupid. Yeah, of course, you know, as I did here, right? Yeah, just forgetting this assignment. So here then, right, I guess for this one, let's just say, what, yeah, loop through, yeah, all runners to get their inputs, or yeah, I guess get their time inputs. Right, let's say, yeah, and calculate, or if they got a certificate, or well, I guess, yeah, check if they got a certificate. Right here we can say, I guess, right, let's say double entry check to ensure, yeah, I know, to ensure the correct time was entered. Yeah, and I suppose, like, maybe here we can have, we can say, what, error message, right, if time's different. Yeah, times are different, or yeah, times don't match. I mean, also, well, here just assigning that, I think that's fine. Right, let's say here, what, yeah, check, right, if member, let's say, deserves a certificate. Or yeah, I guess, yeah, one certificate. Right, I mean, I don't know, like, maybe here you say, or let's say, yeah, bubble sort optimizations, basically. I think we probably don't really need to write that. Alright, let's say, yeah, okay, let's say, well, bubble sort, yeah, I know, for, or let's say member, member time and member name array, or yeah, arrays. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, also, well, yeah, just, you know, looping while it's not sorted. Let's say here, let's say what, comparing, alright, okay, right, yeah, let's say loop, right, to compare, I guess what, yeah, consecutive pairs or something. Consecutive pairs of elements. Right, this one, let's say what, check, yeah, I know, check if elements, right, check if elements are in wrong order. Yeah, yeah, okay, I guess we say this. Alright, let's say, yeah, I know, swap, yeah, I know, swap elements or swap values. Let's say swap times, right, of course, well, this, right, swap names. I mean, I think this one we don't really need to comment. And then I suppose here, I mean, again, it's, well, quite obvious, really. Let's say, yeah, I know, like, output, yeah, I know, output details, or output, yeah, I guess, yeah, output details, output results, right, something like that. Anyway, guys, alright, so I think, well, that's going to be the end of this video. Yeah, there's no questions after this. Alright, so as always, well, hopefully this video is useful. Any questions, ask in the comments, and of course, we'll see you again in the next video.